Welcome to sunny Orange County. We are here at Chapman University at Wilson Field, ready for a great game of lacrosse tonight. I'm here, your host and play-by-play commentator, Dan Batson, for tonight.
And my name is Caroline Linton. I'm your color commentator for tonight. Dan, this should be a really interesting game. Both teams are coming off of a hot win from last week, and they're also both on the fringe for making playoffs for the MCLA. And let's throw it down to Josh Fernandez down on the field. Josh, what are you seeing down there?
Thanks, guys. Right now, standing here on Wilson Field, watching these teams get ready to go to battle. Should be a fun game. My name is Josh Fernandez, and I'm very happy to be here for you folks at home. Right now, let's take a look at a package made by our very own CSBN crew that highlights Chapman captains. Take a look.
Lacrosse is such a back-and-forth game.
They call it the fastest game on 2 feet. It's just like this huge rush of adrenaline, super fun, high intensity, getting up with your boys. Everyone get into the locker room, get your gear on, and then we all huddle up, put our heads in, say we're a family.
You know, you've got your stick warmed up, you got 15 minutes till the game starts, and that's where I really start trying to get people pumped up and just kind of try to get into my own headspace where it's like, all right, I'm ready to go here.
When you make a good play, get up for your team, everyone gets hyped and excited, and it's kind of what swings the game around for you. Losing is the worst feeling in the world. You gotta have hope, and you gotta believe that you're gonna win, otherwise you have no chance.
It comes down to who takes the ball in the most important situations. When you're down 4 goals or 3 goals and you're looking for someone, and everybody's looking around and trying to figure out who's gonna go, who's gonna be the guy to do that?
You gotta have a short-term memory playing this game, because after a goal is scored or you make a mistake, you're right back up and you have to do the same thing over again. I kind of black out sometimes, and I'm just like in game mode. I focus on my breathing when I'm out there and think just can hear myself breathing, and that's pretty much it. And just tune everything out and try and lock in. I can just play, and that's the only thing that I have to worry about. I don't have to worry about anything going on outside, or it's just the one thing at hand is get the ball. I like when the other team underestimates you, and I think we've kind of gone through that a lot this year. It kind of gives you an edge because they don't really know what to expect. We've really learned to get closer and trust one another, and especially at practice, just making sure that we're always going hard for each other and supporting one another, and it definitely builds that trust. You always got to have that mindset of we can win this game, no matter what. If the odds are stacked against you, just kind of going out there and being scrappy and knowing no matter what, anything can happen.
Really interesting to hear from those team captains, the heart and soul of this Chapman men's lacrosse team, to get really into their mindset and hear about how they play this game for real.
Yes, that mindset is so important in making absolutely the strongest players on the field. Talking about strongest players, let's take a look at our CU-Boulder key players for tonight. First up, we got number 7, Grayson Mitchell from Andover, Massachusetts. He is a senior attackman with 21 goals and 5 assists. He's going to be an absolute powerhouse on attack tonight. And next up, we got number 55, George Candle, also a senior from Denver, Colorado. He's a midfielder with 14 ground balls and 12 goals. Both are just going to be absolutely players to watch for tonight. They're going to make it just an absolutely amazing game.
Yeah, and as we get into this game tonight, we do want to make you aware of a QR code that's going to be coming up on your screen. It is going to take you to a link so that you can give money to the Chapman Men's Lacrosse program. Their club is self-funded and are run on fundraisers and donations from viewers or people who like to watch their games. And it is your donations that allow them to keep their program going. So if you feel called to make those donations, and if you feel like you want to support this team as they continue to fight for their chance in the playoffs this season, you can make those donations by scanning that QR code below. But as we get into tonight's game tonight, Caroline, let's talk a little bit about how Chapman can kind of get the edge on Colorado tonight. We know we've talked about these key players. We heard from some of the captains from Chapman's team. We talked about those key players tonight. How is Chapman really going to win over this game tonight?
Looking at Chapman's side, we really need to see just those dynamic stick skills, those fundamentals that keep the game going. We're talking passing, catching, ground balls, cradling. They're a really quick team, Boulder, and they're going to get those down the field very quickly. So just keeping those stick skills fundamental, keeping possession of the ball for as long as we can, making just the smartest moves, smartest transitions going to be absolutely key for us. On Boulder's side, however, they got to really focus on making smart shots. Our goalies, Alex Bielek and Jason Bollinger, are absolute powerhouses on the field right now, both being recognized by MCLA for their performance this season. So CU-Boulder is going to have to be really smart, take advantage of every single shot they get to goal, and placing the shots, aiming, and just being really quick on those transitions down, getting that shot off.
And it sounds like we are just now getting onto the field. And here we go. We're going to start walking onto the field. The teams are getting ready to go. We're going to go for the face-offs. Here we go. Chapman walking onto the beautiful green Wilson Field. Colorado acclimating to the nice warm weather here in Orange County. We're both excited for a really great game here tonight, Caroline. It should be a tough fight for both teams, and we're hoping they keep it close.
Yeah, we absolutely are. It's going to really just be kicked off right away with this face-off. Whoever gets possession is already obviously at the advantage. We have amazing our possession. One of our team captains there usually goes for the face-off, and he has an amazing record. He's very, very well versed in these face-offs, so it's going to be really important. Whoever gets possession on this first one will definitely be in an advantage.
And it looks like they are standing at the 50-yard line, about to shake hands, about to give each other some knuckles, showing that sportsmanship. We're all about that here at Chapman University, keeping that sportsmanship. We hope to keep this a fun and clean game and have a great time playing it.
Absolutely, absolutely, Dan. I mean, with men's lacrosse, definitely gets a little twisted. Sometimes it's a very aggressive game, very physical, but, you know, you got to keep that sportsmanship, and we see that a lot from Chapman, so we hopefully we'll see it, keep that sportsmanship up, and see that throughout the game tonight.
And the two refs are setting up the ball for the face-off. Here we go. You can already hear both of these benches getting loud, getting rowdy, ready for tonight's game. We talked about that a lot in that package a little bit. We heard from those captains that it's important to keep the energy up. But here we go. Sticks are down. They're ready to fight for it. And it looks like Chapman's going to win that face-off. They're moving it down the field. Bringing it into that offensive half. They're passing that restraining line, so you see that red line right on the 30-yard line. Once they pass that, they can only keep about 7 players in that half. We're going to see how they move the ball here. Moving it behind the goal line. As we talked about before, those fundamental stick skills, they're keeping it clean right now, making sure they're completing these passes and keeping the ball off the ground.
Yeah, we're definitely taking our time up on the attack half right now, letting those guys set up. We're getting the ball around the field. This really just helps, you know, create some space. They're looking for that fast drive to goal.
And there it is, a goal for number 8, Ben Neustrausen. A great way to start the game. And we talked about this before. It's a fast-paced game, and they are moving quick. And just like that, it's one on the board for Chapman already.
Absolutely. And the way they got that goal up, coming up the crease right there, that's just such a dynamic spot. You're going to have your most powerful, most dynamic attackman back at X to get those shots off.
And we got a replay coming up for you. Oh, it seems like now we do not. The face-off's coming off again. Here we go. Let's see if Chapman can win this one as well. And as you'll see, they'll fight for it here. I'll try to flick it up, but the Buffs will come off with this face-off, running it down into that offensive half. And you'll see that some of the sticks are longer for some of those lacrosse pairs. Those are for the defenseman. There will be one short stick defenseman, you'll see, and that defenseman can sometimes run up into that offensive half and play offense sometimes, but those long sticks are great for keeping them at bay, keeping that ball from moving too much.
Yeah, our short stick player right now is going to be number 2, Ethan Slade for Chapman.
But here we go, Colorado setting up its offense, moving the ball. We talked about those fundamental stick skills, but keeping it clean. Here's a drive from number 30. Trying to find an opening, looking for it. Nothing coming up for them just yet. Continuing to move that offense. No picks. Just trying to keep it on that man-to-man. But you can already see those stick checks coming in off that long stick, keeping them at bay, not letting them pass the ball too much.
Yeah, our defense is looking great right now, really moving around with them. We got a ball down.
There we go. They're going to fight for it. And see, now they've got some space here. And just like that, oh, he got it out. That's number 9 for the Colorado Buffs. Getting that ball back, resetting it up for the team. That's Colin Green. Driving in his 55 into the net for the Buffs. That was George Candle. We talked about him in our pregame show, that midfielder, finding that opening and getting to the goal.
Absolutely, yeah. He was one to look out for. He's our senior, our midi. That was 12 goals before this, averaging 2 goals per game. And look, we already got one up right this quick. So excited he's going to play an absolute dynamite game today.
And it was really important for that Colorado Buffs to set up their offense there. They worked the ball around. Unfortunately, gave it up a little bit there, but got back. And up to George Candle, really brought it down and got another goal for them. But as we go again, the face-off starting once more. Chapman wins it, running straight down the middle. got an opening. Oh, and a missed pass.
See, right there is where those stick skills come into play. If that was a straight pass to him, he would have been wide open right at that money shot for goal.
But now the Colorado Buffs have possession, moving down the field, trying to decide where to send that ball. And it looks like a turnover.
Taken.
Number 8 for Chapman, moving the ball up the field, taking it right to him. Now holding off, waiting to set up that offense once again. Moving it to number 12. And it seems like they're switching out some players. They're getting in some new recruits. Getting those fresh legs in. And here we go. The ball's moving to the 30-yard line. Now up to the top, number 22, William Curtis. Now, as you can see, they're going to keep moving the ball around that offensive half. They're kind of making that clam shape. They set a pick there, making sure he's not moving to get that flag. But they are trying to make sure that they keep that man-on-man offense to defense. They don't want to separate them. Oh, and that shot just a little bit wide.
Something to comment on Chapman here. They're playing a really tight attack right now. They have lots of space down on the field, and they're playing pretty close to the goal here. So it's interesting to see. Sometimes a lot of teams will take that space, give your players a lot more room to get those dodges around, get that fast drive to the goal. They're playing pretty tight to the goal right now.
Yeah, and it's great plays there. So they're moving in, but those stick checks are coming in. And a huge shot from the face-off specialist there, number 22, Jack Worth.
Looks like Chapman got the chase there, though, number 7.
Yeah, still not going to make it. And they're throwing that ball away from the shot clock, I believe. And the Buffs are now moving back up the field. As you can see, they're making a couple more switches. They're getting those fresh legs out there. We said it in the package. The game is very fast, so making sure that you've got guys who are warm, guys who are not super tired out there is important, because look how fast the Buffs are moving up the field yet again, setting up that offense, making sure they're getting that man-on-man.
Absolutely. Those fast transitions are key, and those are easiest when you have those fresh players coming in from the side, which, yeah, as we see, is a constant game of changing throughout the substitutions.
And here we go. They're working the ball around. Clean passing so far. Nothing crazy, no play calls. Just trying to find an opening. Like we saw before, just coming off that crease, staying quiet, making sure it works is all that it takes. Those big stick checks coming in from number 10. Dylan Hartnov, one of those captains. Making sure Colorado's eating that time away from the shot clock. Driving in, number 18 for Colorado. That shot's wide. And it looks like Colorado will take it out from the side. They've got 14 seconds to work with. Let's see what they do here. Number 5 making his move. Still not finding a spot. As you can hear, the bench is calling out that shot clock, making sure he knows how soon it's coming up. And a turnover on the shot clock for the Buffs as Chapman starts moving it down the field yet again. That's number 2, Ethan Slade, running it down now. Trying to find an opening here. And he's moving in. Back to the back of the net. As we see that kind of clamshell defense come up again, number 7 finds an opening. Passes it back behind the net. So working through that clam, trying to find an opening, driving in, and like we said, just getting an opening and trying to put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, and getting that ball back to X for those quick shots off, those quick passes off is always key for them. That's definitely a fallback for the Chapman attack right now.
The score is currently 1-1. We've got about 9 more minutes left to play in this first quarter. The clock does not stop. And here comes number 7, almost with a bounce shot into the top, but it doesn't fall in just for him just yet. Got 24 seconds on the shot clock. Let's see what Chapman can do here. You see that long stick really slowing him down. They're keeping him right at that 40 to 30-yard line, not letting him drive in, and another dropped pass. It's going to be an out of bounds and a turnover. Now the Buffs got some speed for them.
This is absolutely what we're talking about here with the clean stick skills, the fundamentals. Chapman knows how to pass and catch. We know this. We've seen this in past games. But sometimes we get a little cocky, we get a little sloppy, and that's when those possession turnovers happen. But we are back down on attack right now.
And another stop from number 25 on defense for Colorado. That's going to be Dominic Jablonski getting that stop. Huge for the Buffs as they were in transition there. They're moving it up now. Still 1-1, about 8 minutes to go. Trying to find that open man, but that Chapman defense is locked in and ready. A great stop from our goalie, number 3, Alex Bielek. And it looks like that ball is rolling out of bounds, and the Buffs are going to regain possession. Slowing down a little bit, got some shift changes going in, hoping to get some fresh legs out there. Interested to see how these middies start to play defense here. We've got that goalie coming out pretty wide. You know, he's playing around the 25, and there's a huge stick check, and that midfield, they're really fighting for it.
They really are, and something to take account for is these rides down to attack. We have Chapman middies and attack players riding those CU Buffs absolutely so hard right there in order to try to get them to mess up, to fumble, to get that possession turnover.
And you saw the pick there to try and get 55 for Colorado open. That would be George Candle. They're going to keep running that offense through him. He's got a goal already. They know he's a strong goal scorer. They're going to set up for him, and they're going to try and set him up to score.
Absolutely.
Working around the clam again. Here comes the Buffs. Trying to find the open man, fighting for it. There's another pick, rolling off of it. Number 4, into the danger zone. Finding a man, 55, that's George Candle. Again, we talked about running that offense through him. They found him driving in and got another goal from him. That's 2 for the night.
Right, and we got that assist, that perfect assist pass, so quick, so fast, barely see it coming right from X, and he got that money shot right off. And we're going for a replay of that. Let's take a look.
And it looks like they are setting up again, but here they come. You see he's playing behind the net, driving in quick and putting it right into the net. Goalie couldn't keep up with that one, but here comes the face-off yet again. Let's see if Chapman can keep up this time. Here we go. Chapman does win the face-off, gets it, and they're off to the races yet again. 2 defenders on number 21, but it looks like he's got an opening, drives in, but decides to pass away.
Very interesting technique there. It looked like he almost would have a clean shot off there, but you know, we never know. It could have plays that we want to run on the attack there. Smarter shots to make.
Just like those Chapman captains said, it is a game of mentality. Making sure you're getting the ball to that best person, making sure that you've got the right shift out there. People are not tired, not ready to switch and get those shots off. A lot more to the game than we can see up here from the booth. As they're working it around again. They like to go to their right here. Looks like he got his man a little bit, but that long stick defense, checking him, making sure he's not trying to shoot anything. And there is another dropped pass. That is the 3rd of the night. Thankfully, it's scooped up by number 15, and it looks like there's a flag on the play, which could be a man up. The ref has not said anything about the said flag yet, but we'll see here. As you can hear the jeers from the bench. And it does look like the Colorado Buffs will be a man down. That's number 6 for the Buffs. That's Jonathan Gruner. And 1 minute he will be out. So the Chapman Panthers will have an extra man, quote unquote, out there. So let's see what they can do for a minute out there with a man up.
Absolutely. Now, as you may have noticed, we got lots of new players put in as soon as we got that man-up attack, because a lot of teams, these will be like special teams type scenarios. So we have these people that are specifically trained for this man-up scenario, and they are absolutely ready to get this goal.
And here we go. They're working the ball, trying to find their openings, not setting too many picks. They like to keep it free form. Working it around X, trying to find the driver. Moving the ball up to 22, 26, on the crease. Nothing there, keeping it moving, trying to keep it fast. They do have a man up. In the middle, a great save from number 19.
And that was a shot by number 7, one of our captains, Fran Bonadise.
Here we go, moving the ball a little bit more. On the crease, trying to find something. Nothing there. A huge shot from number 22, the face-off specialist himself, Jack Worth. His second goal tonight. Huge goal for them there, right off the bounce. A great way for Chapman to really excel on that man up. And we talked about those special teams. We're going to go for a quick replay to see how they set up that play. Here it comes. Like we said before, they're keeping the ball moving, not sending too many picks, trying to find their man. A huge long shot bounced right into the right-hand side. And here's the face-off. Chapman wins yet again. It's Jack Worth. He's doing everything tonight.
Yeah, those faceoffs are absolutely so key for this game. As we've seen, the possession has been mainly for these past few plays, totally on Chapman's attack half. And it's mainly because we've been getting those faceoffs and getting possessions right away. We've had a few fumble passes down on the field, but able to get that possession back for the most part. Right now, it's been mostly a game played on Chapman's attack half.
Yep, and the score is 2-2. Got about 4 minutes left on the clock in this quarter. 45 on the shot clock. Let's see what Chapman decides to do here. Got Jack Worth playing to the top. Number 17 trying to find an entry there. Working it around. Back to Jack Worth. Moving it some more. Here's a pick, rolling off of it, trying to get in there. But you can see that defense closing in tighter and tighter into the crease. Not letting the Chapman people get in to that driving, attacking force into X. Still working it, set a pick there. Number 7 finding his way in. Is checked, and the ball is loose, but the Buffs will come up with it.
Risky pass right there to the goalie, but they did get possession of that. Buffs taking up the field.
And we talked about this before. How are the middies going to defend this here? Slowing it down, stick checking a lot there, trying to keep it in that midfield and not let it get into their defending half. But it looks like Colorado will get to set up here.
Yeah, so far we've seen when we put a little pressure on Colorado, they usually get that pass off. So I think what Chapman's really trying to do there is, get them to make a sloppy pass, maybe get that turnover of possession. But so far we've seen the Buffs' passes have been pretty clean. Their stick skills so far in the game they're keeping their fundamental stick skills up. So Chapman may have to find a different way to go about these rides here.
Got about 2.5 minutes left, 30 on the shot clock. The Buffs are trying to find a way in, trying to capitalize. It's still 2-2. Pretty slow game so far, and that ball is wide. Jake McIntyre just going wide there, and the Buffs are resetting up that offense. You can see how wide Chapman is playing right now, trying to make sure they don't get anywhere near that crease. Number 4 turning in. You can hear the chants about that shot clock winding down. 11 with a deep shot into it.
A great save.
Great save there. That long stick defenseman bringing it up to the midfield. It's number 9, Camden Morris. Camden Morris bringing it deep with a shot on goal. But here we go. Colorado's bringing it back to midfield. Great shot by Camden Morris, even with that long stick. Found a way to get it on target. And it seems like the defenseman kind of pancaked the offense there. And it seemed like that ball is now going to be Chapman's. Here we go again. Back to midfield. About 1.5 minutes left. One more possession in this game, possibly. Cam Morris bringing it back up, finding his way in. That long stick, dropping that shoulder, saying he's too little. Oh, look at him go. Here's some whistles there. And it looks like that's going to be a timeout for Chapman. Much needed, but here we're going to watch a little bit of a replay of Cam Morris bringing it down. Here he comes. You can see how big he is. As a defender, he's got to be strong. He's got to be mean. And he's just out there bullying on the offensive half.
Yeah, that double put on by the CU Buffs right there really got the best of him. I mean, he was holding on to that as long as possible, but there's only so much you can do, especially with that long stick. If you're getting checked on that stick, you have very little control. You have very little traction within the netting of your stick as well, because it's not meant really to hold it for that long. It's meant to get that pass off. You don't really have like the shooting traction that will keep it in a little easier. So he really held on for as long as possible, but the CU Buffs right there were giving everything they got.
Yeah, just great play from both teams so far. The game is still tied up 2-2. You've got about a minute and some change on the clock. You know, what can Chapman or Colorado do to get a goal here so they can lead going into the second quarter? What are they going to do here out of this timeout to try and put some more points on the board?
Absolutely. For Chapman, I would say what's been working best for them in this game right now has been getting that ball down to X very quickly, being fast on that transition, getting that pass from X right into the middle of the field, past those islands there, and getting that shot right off the money shot there. That's been working for them, especially with number 7, Fran Bonadies. He's been been able to get those get those passes from X and get that amazing shot off. So I think passes from X is going to work the best for Chapman. As for CU-Boulder, we've seen quite a few different techniques from them. There were a few looks like an isolation play there that I think could work if they placed that shot. They had a few shots that just went right over goal, so they weren't able to make that, and that's what it's going to come down to. They have the angles, they have the availability, they just need to place those shots better.
And as we hear that, the ball is back in play. Talking about that clam defense, number 15 trying to find his way in, moving the ball to X. Here we go. Trying to find an opening. That is stopped by the CU Buffs goalie, number 19, Trevor Clark. We are now within the final minute. Got about 47 seconds on the clock. And here we go. They're moving the ball, trying to find an opening here. We talked about those isolation movements. George Candle cradling the ball now, trying to find his man. Number 9 driving in those huge checks, keeping them away. Chapman defense looking solid tonight. Biggest thing now is making sure that ball does not get in George Candle's hands. Number 7 with a shot opportunity, a huge save from the Chapman goalie. 10 seconds left. Now winding down, got to get the ball up the field. And it looks like they're running it down. A huge shot, and that's just wide. That pass will not connect. And that's a great end to the first quarter. We had a really tight game there for our first quarter. It's been a good game so far. And excited to see what comes in the second quarter.
I'm absolutely excited to see. We got obviously some amazing plays, amazing passes from Fran Bonadies back at X. We're really just excited to see what they bring to the attack. We've been having some great defense. Chapman can step up on defense just a little bit. CU-Boulders have gotten a few shots off that if defense was a little tighter probably would not have happened. Luckily those shots went out of bounds, did not make it in. Another shout out to our goalies there for an amazing play this round. Our goalies actually this first quarter have been something to look out for. When you think about being a goaltender in Chapman or in lacrosse in general, it really comes down to a game of millimeters and game of milliseconds. If you're just late enough, that goes in, and that's really something to applaud. We're gonna go ahead and toss to some highlights right now.
And here we're looking at it. Chapman moving that ball to X, like we said before, putting it down. And we're really excited to keep seeing that when we move into that second half. And that is our star player so far, George Candle, number 55. We were talking about him a little bit, but look how he moves. Even when he does not have the ball in his hands, he's trying to find a way to get the ball into the back of the net. And that's what makes a really great player.
Absolutely. Once you reach that point where you don't have to think about the fundamentals, once you know how to cradle, you know you're passing, you know you're catching, that's when you can really get those best shots off, get those best plays, because you're focusing on the availability of the goal.
And it's great to see how these teams play, especially as we look at these Chapman captains. We've talked about Fran Bonadies a lot. We've talked about George Candle a lot.
Absolutely.
We're going to keep trying to see how these players will excel into the second quarter and into the second half. as we see, the game is now beginning to start again. We're going to start with another face-off. What do we think this time? CU-Boulder or Chapman winning this face-off?
This face-off, I mean, I'm going to have to go with Chapman. They've just had a lot more possession wins this first quarter, at least. I'd love to see it turn around to CU Buffs to get that ball down on attack. I'd love to see George Candle doing more amazing shots like that, but I'm going to have to say I think it's going to go, the face-off, at least, is going to go to Chapman.
Well, let's see as we get down there yet again. The teams are setting up, and you will see on your screens now that the goalies will now switch sides. Chapman will be attacking to the right, and the Colorado Buffs attacking towards the left. Here we go with the face-off. Fighting for that nitty-gritty. Looks like the Buffs are going to win that one, but Chapman comes up with possession. Following the ball even after flicking it the wrong way. Those middies fighting for it. Here they come. And a bad missed pass yet again. The fourth dropped pass tonight. We've talked about that a lot. How bad is that hurting them?
It's hurting them terribly. I mean, yeah, we've gotten 4 drop passes, and that's 4 possession turnovers that we've seen so far. I would like to add this to what I would like to see this quarter. I would like to see some cleaner stick skills on Chapman's part.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot recently, and it has been something plaguing them. We talked about it just now, that a missed pass is a missed possession, and that is a missed opportunity for goal. 14 minutes and 15 seconds as we keep moving, still 2-2. The Colorado Buffs setting up their offense yet again, playing extremely wide here, almost touching those lines.
Yeah, this is something we haven't seen from the Buffs yet. Most of their attack plays have just been them driving to goal or trying to get that immediate drive to goal. This more spread out, getting the ball around, they might be setting up for a play. We got a pick there.
And he ripped it. That's number 55, George Candle, trying to find his opening there, just a little wide to the left. Colorado Buffs playing tight again, but a missed pass, maybe a miscommunication there, picked up again. They're ready to bring it back into the attacking half. Here we go again, those big checks. That ball just a tad bit wide to the right. As many people say, it's third time's the charm, but only 12 seconds left on the clock, shot clock. Bringing it into the crease, not a lot of options, and almost a behind the back for number 9, Colin Green. That would have been a swaggy play there.
Swaggy indeed, Dan. That would have been quite the highlight play if that had gone in, but that was an amazing save by our Chapman goalie there. Those behind the back shots, those, goalies never see those come in a lot of times because that's just out of your line of vision. You think they're past that possible angle that they're going to take that shot, and then that's just obviously coming from behind the back. You never see that coming there.
And it looks like the shot clock has reset for the Buffs. 60 seconds left on this possession, and completely laid out 3 flags on the play for number 9, Camden Morris. And you can hear the crowd is not happy about that one. Looks like Colorado is going to be man up. We talked about it before. They're bringing in those special teams defense, special teams offense to see how they're going to defend against this man-up situation.
Absolutely. It takes a completely different skill set when you're in that man-up or man-down situation, especially for defense. You got to get those splitting players, that good communication between I got your help, I got your cover. We're going to take a look at the replay of that foul.
And here it comes, Camden Morris just dominating them there. And I think it was because he held both hands on that stick and pushed him down. That's what he got on the foul, and I believe he is out for the next 30 seconds. So we're going to see if Chapman's going to hold it down for those 30 seconds to make sure that they don't allow a goal here on this man up. George Candle bringing the ball back in. Here he comes, moving the ball around. Colorado trying to find the opening, trying to find the man that's missing defense. Almost finds George Candle there. On that right-hand side, it's just wide to the left.
That's what I was talking about, those placing shots. How many shots have George, especially with George Candle, we love him. He's been an amazing player so far, but he's had a lot of shots on goal that have just been slightly off, and if all of those were just adjusted a tiny bit, he'd have a lot more play.
and they're fighting for it on the ground. We talked about those ground ball stats, something you wouldn't see something in like baseball, but in lacrosse, it is huge that you fight for those ground balls because, like we said, a possession means a goal. And if you don't got possession, that means you are running down the field. And it looks like they're fighting for it. And the Buffs retain possession as they are going to continue to try and work it from X. 48 seconds on the shot clock. It has felt like an eternity that they've been man up. And it is just wide yet again. And it looks like the Buffs still are beating them on the chase.
I mean,
allowing
Chapman's
them to keep playing.
Absolutely, they are beating them on the chase. Chapman's defense right now is actually something to take a note of. They've been doing a great job for this man-up defense right now. You can tell they have great communication. Ooh.
And just like that, number 7 for the CU Buffs, Grayson Mitchell, bearing one into the back of the net after coming off of that X position. Bounce shot right off the left shoulder of the Chapman goalie. Just a great shot from Grayson there.
Absolutely. That coming off the back, around the crease right there, got right into that money shot, that 5x5 as we like to call it. Let's take a look at that.
You can see that a little bit closer. You know, we talked about that communication. It looks like it just got a little sloppy there. Found his spot, top right corner. Didn't even need to bounce it. And he found his spot there, and that's 3-2 for the Buffs. Chapman winning the face-off. Off to the races. Here they go. A huge shot on the crease, and that is down into the net for the Chapman Panthers. Quickly evening it up. 3-3, 11:41 on the clock.
You know, that play right there just showed me Chapman can turn it on when they want to. So I'd love to see that energy, that kind of play continuing on for the rest of this game. Let's take a look again at that amazing shot right there.
And we talked about how important the face-off is. Winning this face-off allowed for this goal. It was fast. It was easy, right through the middle, found their man right on the crease, and put it into the back of the net. Here we go. Let's see who's going to win this one. Looks like a whistle.
That's going to be a trip call right there.
So let's talk about that a little bit. How come Chapman just gets the ball there?
So for one of these fouls, it's not one that requires a man being taken out, so a man up or man down situation. It's just a personal one. It's just going to be kind of, you know, a less serious one. For that one specifically, it was a trip. So they just get handed over possession, just keeping that game going. You know, you're not going to see it a lot in men's lacrosse where they take a break, take a second to make sure you have possession and restart the game. It's really just a quick game of, okay, this team has possession, let's get it going again.
Right. We talked about it, the fastest game on 2 feet, and that is number 28 finding the back of the net. That's Ryan Moss trying to find his spot, and there it is. Number 26 found his spot. Another goal for the Chapman Panthers right at the 11-minute mark.
And
now
26,
4 goals.
That's going to be Elijah Brugerman right there, a freshman midfielder.
Great job for the midi there. Really found his spot, had a one-on-one, got an opening, and ripped it. Just great.
Absolutely. I hope we see more of this. Like I said last time, this is that fast game that we've been talking about this whole time. I'm glad that Chapman's bringing this out right now.
Looks like Chapman's going to flick it back. And here they go on the move yet again. Passing it around the midfield now. A huge drive, speed kills. Trying to find his man, got him lost. That long stick defenseman could not keep up there, but keeps him at bay. Moving the ball around a little bit more. Slowing it down. The Chapman coach is calling some plays. Trying to find that open man, trying to get an opening. Closing it down. The CU Buffs are playing it very tight around the goalie. A huge pass in and just gets a little ahead of himself. Didn't have full possession of the ball, and just like that, it slips into the Buffs' hands. Now past midfield. Still moving. Number 45 for the Buffs, bringing it all the way back. That's Harrison Pfeiffer.
That speed that 45 just had right there to get it down. He beat most of his attack and other mids to get that ball down there, so kind of had to take his time getting around that crease and get that pass off, but absolute speed down the field right there.
And here is that point player that we've seen all night for the Buffs, George Candle, number 55. And Colin Green, we've seen him a lot today. We didn't highlight him, but Colin Green has been pivotal for the Buffs so far, number 9. Moving the ball around some more. Some big checks, keeping him at bay. That pass all the way back. Trying to find a new spot. Trying to move it. Nothing really landing for them so far. A huge check for Chapman. Number 5, Leander Rikers.
And there is a flag on that play for what I assume is going to be a check to the neck right there. Head and neck, those are not allowed. We're going to watch that again to see exactly what that flag was for.
And you can hear it again. It's clear that elbow does come up just a tad too high. Obviously, Chapman player is not happy with that. No one's never going to be happy with the penalty. Number 5, Leander Rikers, going to be taking a knee, sitting down there for a high check there.
You know, you can get away with a lot of men's lacrosse, but they are very, very strict on those high checks. Those risk areas, that neck, that head, you're not going to get away with those.
And that's going to be 60 seconds of man up for the CU Buffs. Got a whistle on the play. And they are asking to reset the shot clock. There was a reason. I did not say anything about the shot clock because I did think maybe they should give them a little bit more time on man up, not just 12 seconds. So they're going to get 75 seconds on this man up. Remember, 60 seconds when they are going to be man down for Chapman. We're going to see how this special offense, as we've been talking about a lot, works. Remember, we're looking at number 9 and number 55. Colin Green, George Candle at the top by the 30-yard line. Trying to find an open spot, passing the ball around.
And maybe we can take a look at the Chapman defense this time, if I can get it out before a shot gets off this time. You can see that defense has heads on swivels. Oh, yet again, you know what, maybe every time I talk about the defense is when it falls apart.
Well, you know, they were man up. A great goal for the CU Buffs there. Obviously, there's got to be a miscommunication there. No man there, no defense, just an open shot. And like we said before, the milliseconds, the goalie couldn't get into there. But let's see this replay. It's number 30 for the CU Buffs. That's Becker Dienst. Just finding his spot there and putting it into the back of the net, tying this game up back to 4-4. About halfway through the quarter. What is Chapman going to do here to keep it moving?
I mean, I think their biggest thing is just not get a man-down defense because, as we've seen, the Buffs are able to get past that defense as well. As nice as their communication is, as much as I tried to compliment them on, they just can't seem to block that quick shots off from the CU Buffs. And it looks like the CU Buffs have gotten their shots more direct. They're placing their shots more. We've seen less going past the goals in the past few plays here. But it is down on Chapman right now, so I'm excited to see what we get out of this.
We are looking at Fran Bonadies, number 7, a senior captain this year. We also got number 22 out there, Jack Worth, been winning the face-off for the guys. Number 17 making his move into the crease, and he finds it. Number 17, Jackson Wells. Bounces it off the ground into the top left corner. Just a great goal. Found his way into the middle, put it into the back of the net. You can't get much better than that.
You really can't. That angle that he was at was perfect as well. As I've been saying a few times, that money shot or that 5x5, let's take a look closer at that one.
Look at that. Beats his man right back onto the ground. Bounce, top left corner. I mean, just beautiful. Beautiful play there from Jackson Wells. Here on the face-off yet again, fighting for it. Chapman is going to win that. They flick it back. A huge check there. Wrapped around the body, but he keeps moving forward. Moving that ball behind the goal yet again. Setting up the Clam defense yet again. Got some shift changes, getting those fresh legs out again. Finding his spot back in. Fran Bonadies out of nowhere. Wasn't even seeing him. Beat his man, got to the crease, top right corner. The senior from Hamden, Connecticut. found it again, a 6th-year senior.
6th-year senior, and you know what? He knows what he's doing by this point. We got a replay to see that one more time.
Here we go. He finds it, bounces it back into the back of the net. Back to the face-off, and I think a huge thing to point out here, Chapman is killing it on the face-offs.
Absolutely, yeah, we've seen most of these going to Chapman. I think we've had 1 or 2 go to the Buffs right away, at least. We may have had some possession turnovers once we get further down the field, but the face-offs have been going to majority Chapman.
Again, another win for William Curtis, the face-off specialist, playing that midfield, but coming. And here they come again, Fran Bonadies trying to find an opening. A huge check there. Back to the behind the goal, trying to work X. That pass to that long stick defender, number 9, just goes a little high. Camden Morris, we talked about him on the offensive half. The score is 6-4 in favor of Chapman. Just under 7 minutes to go.
I think something to comment on here is that mentality, that goldfish memory, as we like to say, that 3-second memory. We got to ride these Buffs right back up the field. We can't think about that lost pass, and they've been doing a great job. That was a high pass right there.
And it looked to be because they actually defended it well, slapped that stick before the pass comes out. And it looks like there's some whistles. The crowd is cheering, trying to get possession. And the whistles again, Jack Worth breaking a tackle there. And it seems like there's some loud cheers from the crowd. And a flag, because I believe somebody was coming off the field and decided to check Jack Worth. I think that might be a man down situation for the Buffs.
I believe it is as well. Let's see here.
Looks like they're not taking anybody out so far. They're just working the ball. And they're, tripped his defender up, trying to find an opening. And that's into the netting of the goalie for the CU Buffs. The ref going to talk to the CU Buffs coach. Not quite sure if this is a man-up situation. Couple guys coming off the field. It could be shift changing.
Yeah, we got some screams down from below about a man-up situation. I guess we'll wait and see.
Looks like CU Buffs number 4 was offside, leading to the man-up situation for 30 seconds. Luke Verratti offside for the Buffs.
Yeah, I think what we saw there was we need those 3 players back behind the 50, and I think during that big scramble right there up by the substitution box, one passed over, and that's what was the confusion there.
A no-look pass almost works, and they put it into the back of the net, but they're calling it off because a Chapman player entered the crease. Could be because of a check that made him fall into the crease there. Not quite sure what happened, but if the goal is not counted, it still was a great shot there. As you can hear from the crowd, obviously unhappy with the call. Let's see where they go from here.
Chapman remains in possession of the shot.
Looks like Chapman's going to remain with possession. Maybe a missed call. They're going to give the ball back, see if that alleviates some of the tension. Okay, they're resetting the shot clock yet again. We've got 5.5 minutes left, 80 on the shot clock, 6-4 Chapman. Still man up. Chapman working that special offense. They know they've got an open man somewhere, just got to find him. Boulder obviously playing a little bit more zone, still crowding that crease, keeping it tight. The man up is now over. They've got their extra man up. A great save from the Buffs. More stick checks, trying to find an opening. Fran Bonity's got 3 buffs on him. A huge check. It's Chapman possession. Restarting play. Fran Bonity's to Jack Worth. Back to Fran Bonity's. Trying to find an opening. Fran moving it down. On to X. Just wide. Re-picked up by Chapman. Those big stick checks coming out, trying to find the ball there. That long stick defense. Some more whistles. And it looks like they're going to reset the shot clock once again. Resetting the shot clock to 75. Four and a half minutes left in this first half. Chapman leads by 2. The refs seem to be having a little conversation. Maybe they're wondering what kind of coffee to get after the game. Not quite sure. Or maybe they're talking about how awesome the rest of the crew is here at CSBN and how great all of the camera people are doing and all of the people back in the booth are doing.
I bet that is the topic.
Me too.
Because that really deserves some praise there, especially for this being our first lacrosse broadcast. But it looks like we might be getting back into gameplay right now.
And there's the whistle. The ball is moving yet again. Remember, we're looking at 22-7. Jack Worth, Fran Bonity's. Moving it back to X. Behind the goal. Jackson Wells spinning off his man. A missed pass. We talked about that a lot. Thankfully, they came back up with possession of it. Chapman moving the ball yet again. Still not finding an opening. 30 on the shot clock. Jack Worth driving in. Back behind the goal. Looking for that guy on the crease. Coming around. A scoop. And it looks like he may have stepped just a tad too close. That's going to be Colorado's ball.
Yeah, crease violations are not something they take lightly as well. As an old goalie for women's lacrosse, of course, I can tell you stepping into that crease is an absolute no-no. You will get a lot of heat from the goalies and the refs for that, really just for safety reasons. And looks
like Chapman has regained possession. The whistle blows, and they're bringing the pace. Here they come, trying to set up that offense yet again. Fran Bonity's running behind the goal. Just about 3 minutes left in this first half. Almost steps in the crease there. Is knocked down. A great defensive play from the Buffs, number 27, Harrison Mead.
You know, I think the CU Buffs might just have an idea of that play that Chapman's been running back there with Fran Bonity's clearly our strongest, or one of the strongest players out there back at X, and they've kind of gotten a hold on that, not letting him through this time.
And let's see how these defensemen really play in the second quarter. We've seen one mistake so far on that man-up situation, but the ball has really been living in that offensive half for most of this quarter on the Chapman side. The Buffs trying to find an opportunity. The ball goes a little wide. Becker Denst going a little wide there. Ball is back in play. The Buffs playing a little bit tighter than they were when they were a man up. Candle going for an opportunity, but it's stopped by the Chapman goalie. I believe that was Jason Bowling. Great play from him. 2 minutes left. 70 on the shot clock. Camden Morris, that defender who is known to come up into the attacking half. Dumps it off back to Jack Worth, number 22. Moving it back. Right around the 10-yard line. Got some shift changes going. They want those guys who aren't tired. Looks like Jack Worth is faking that shift change. Bringing it back. Trying to find him. Jack Worth, a great idea there, but it could not be followed through. Looks like Jack Worth is now running for an actual shift change. And here we go. Bringing on Jackson Wells. Number 15 working his way in. Trying to find a spot. That ball is loose and a ground ball picked up by number 2, Goal Kavanaugh. The Buffs are running it up the field. We talked about how fast this game is played. That pass goes wide, giving the Panthers a little bit of time to set up their defense. And here we go. The Buffs are setting up. We are under the minute mark. This may be the final possession of the first half. Boulder setting up, drops his man, and it looks like they will retain possession. 32.4 left on the clock. Trying to find an opening. The Buffs are still fighting for it. Under 30 seconds. Found his way in, no defense there. The stick check's not connecting. That's in the top right for CU Buffs, number 7.
And that last play is going to be just a comment on his true stick skills, because he was able to keep that cradle, make it through those 2 checks, and that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about those fundamentals right there. That cradling was tight. He knew he wasn't going to lose that ball going through those players and was able to get that amazing shot off.
And we talked about him as a key player going into this game. Grayson Mitchell, his second goal for tonight. Great play from him there. Way to keep it strong. Like we said, fundamentals are key. Back to the face-off. Possibly the last face-off of the game, or last face-off of the half, excuse me.
Interesting to see who gets possession here.
And it looks like the CU Buffs will win it even after Chapman flicked it towards their offensive half.
See if they can get anything done in these last 15 seconds of the game here, of the half.
Here they go, number 13, trying to find an open spot. Some checks coming out and a loose ball. They're going to huck it down, but that one will not land. Halftime. After a great first half of lacrosse, it looks like the Chapman Panthers will be leading 6-5 as we go into the halftime. Just a great first half of play for the most part, Caroline. Let's talk about just one strength and one weakness for the Chapman Panthers. Let's go first with the strength.
I would say their strengths, I mean, we got to highlight Fran Bonadi's back on attack. He's been able to get those passes, those clean passes off of X and get those crease rolls. It's rare you get a player that can do both of those so amazing and at the level that Fran Bonadi's has been doing. For weaknesses, I mean, you know what I'm going to say. You know what's coming. I'm going to say the man-down defense. I would love to see that. Looks like they have great communication for the most part, but once we get that player coming in from X is where we see the weaknesses in there.
Yeah, like we've said before, we've been highlighting it a ton tonight. It's keeping those fundamentals, and like I said before, speed kills. We've been seeing it off the face-off. We've been seeing it when they've got those free possessions. Getting down the field as fast as they can is important. We're going to go down to Josh Fernandez, who has an interview with one of the coaches. Let's see what's going on down there with Josh.
All right. Hello, guys. Right here we got a coach. Coach, tell me a little bit about what you're about to tell your players in halftime.
You know, I think all around, just got to be a little bit smarter. We got to settle in, be patient, try to stop forcing things that aren't there, and honestly just trust one another. I think if we can do that, we'll come out and it'll be a little bit different second half.
All right, Chapman is only up 1 goal right now. What are you going to tell your team to try to get that lead and secure it?
Honestly, we got to go out and I'm going to say it again, we got to trust one another. Defense, offense, we've had some collapses in the last couple of minutes, and it really just comes down to, looking to the guy right next to you and knowing that he's going to do his job. And I think we got a little selfish playing a little hero ball too much in that quarter. So we'll come out, we got to fix those things, and hopefully it starts to go back the right way.
All right, I appreciate that. I'm going to throw it back up to you guys. Thank you.
A great interview from Josh Fernandez. Just great to hear from the coach. Talking about that hero ball a lot. When we think of the hero, we think of Fran Bonides. But we also talked about a lot those dropped passes. Obviously, I think Coach was alluding to that. Without saying it, how can Chapman really work on focusing on fixing that going into this next half?
Yeah, like the coach said, it's really about trusting one another. We have lots of just, taking the time, like cushioning that pass and getting that soft cradle, getting that going down the field. They know how to cradle, they know how to pass. They just need to take a second, keep that mental game strong, and something to look for the CU Buffs this half too. In their past games this season, they've been notorious for their comebacks, actually. They have a 4-3 record, but for the most part, they've been able to get it pretty close up or take the game. They're able to turn it on. They're a very dangerous team, like when they want to. So I'm very excited for this next half to see if they turn that on.
It is going to be an exciting half for the second half of the game, but we've had some very, very exciting moments in this first half. Let's take a look at those few key moments, see what that hero ball is all about, and let's see what's going on down there. Obviously, here we go. We saw this live, but we're going to see this here. That behind the back shot almost lands a great save from the Chapman goalie there. But as we see before, once they get that open look, George Candle is going to bury it. Finds a spot just like Fran Bonides. Looks for the open man, not getting selfish there, but finds him right on the crease, puts it in the back of the net.
Absolutely. That would be right there is the example of just making those smart passes, keeping that control on the ball. That was an amazing shot, able to get off because they had the quick pass and able to get that shot off. Right there we have number 30 from Colorado making an amazing shot there. Again, from another quick pass off. We've seen that a lot this game. Not too many straight drives to goal, except we might see one here from 17.
Yep. That's number 17, Jackson Wells. We saw him do that. A solo endeavor, really brought it down, beat his man off of it, and finally found a spot there off the drive, put it into the top left of the net. As we said at the first part of our broadcast today, Chapman Men's Lacrosse is a self-funded club, and they are accepting donations at the QR code that will be posted on your screen. These donations go to help them continue to be a club and continue to operate. Obviously, you see those kids out there play with their hearts, and they love to play this game. And it is made possible by their own fundraisers and their own donations that are made by viewers like you. So if you feel called to make that donation, please feel free to scan the QR code on your screen, make the donation, and you can help those students who are really working out there, really making some great plays, continue to do so. For your first half, I'm Dan Batson, and I'm joined by
Caroline Linton.
Thank you, and we will see you in the second half. Welcome back, viewers, everybody at home. We're getting right back into the action. The face-off going in favor of the Chapman Panthers. A great start to the second half as they move down the field, moving the ball around, as we talked about right before the halftime, making sure those passes are clean, keeping it very solid. Here we go. Moving the ball around that defense. The Chapman Panthers going to keep running that offense through those star players. Fran Bonady's still working out there. Getting into Jack Worth, finding an open spot. Jackson Wells working it around the left-hand side. Trying to lose his man, not losing him just yet, sticking to him. Back to Fran Bonady's. He's going to try and lose his man. Finds an open spot, and that pass is just a tad too high. Here we go. The CU Buffs regain possession, and they're going to start to bring it up the field. Let's see if the Panthers try to stop them back at the midfield line yet again. Bringing two. Big check there, but retains possession. Looking like they're going to make a couple shift changes here. Getting those healthy players back in. Here comes number 25. Trying to get on George Candle there. They're going to keep an eye on him this half, I am sure.
Absolutely, with how many shots, goals, let alone just shots, he was able to get off last half. They're definitely going to be keeping an eye on George Candle.
Ooh, George Candle off the bar, and you could tell that ball had some gas behind it as off that bounce, it came all the way back to the 50. Here it comes quick, trying to find, but a great defensive play for Cole Kavanaugh, stopping that drive in. He was basically at the crease. That could have been a goal. Bringing it back up to the 50. The middies locking it down. Little missed opportunity on that ground ball there. Could have had a little bit more momentum. But it looks like they're just going to set up their offense. They know what they're doing. The Buffs giving them midfield. And here comes the swap.
I will say it looks like the CU Buffs have brought out a very strong defense for this half. I mean, we've only had a few minutes so far, but they're definitely riding harder, getting closer to their man, and just a stronger defense than I think we saw in the first half already.
And here they come, cradling the ball. Number 26 for Chapman. That's going to be Elijah Brugerman, trying to find an open spot. A pass to number 0 behind the net, Jack Berger. Jackson Wells working into the crease. Back to Berger. Back up to Jack Worth. Looked for a shot, but not there. Jack Worth got that size, trying to bully his way in, but it's not there. The stick check's keeping him at bay. Back to Berger. Moving it to Fran Bonady's. Back to Wells. Wells to Worth. Worth driving. Nothing there. Pass back to Jack Berger. A pick set by Jack Worth, and that ball is wide. 11.5 minutes remaining. 1 second on the shot clock. I wonder what they will do with 1 second. And it looks like they're going to dump it off.
Now that was really interesting. They were taking their time. They really ran out that shot clock there. They were taking that time getting those passes off. Every single player looking for that shot, but they knew they just didn't have it. So, they might be looking for this half since they have they have 1 goal lead, but they might be looking to make those smarter shots, take their time. And it looks like they got possession again.
Yeah, unfortunately, just a bad pass there. They really collapsed on that midfield, and now Chapman's got some momentum moving in to this attacking half. Leander Rikers bringing the ball up. A long stick defenseman now running back to defense. Bringing on number 33, Josh Vomund, and number 12, Grant Cavan. Let's see how these new boys work on the team. This shift looking a little bit smaller in size, but maybe they'll make up for it in speed. There's number 8, Ben Neustrausen. Still moving the ball. around the crease, nothing there. A big stop from the CU Buff defense, thanks to playing very tight to the goal. That long stick defense, finding a spot, and it looks like there is a foul there, and they're going to give possession to the Buffs. And here come the Buffaloes. George Candle at the top. Let's see where they go from here. George Candle with Becker Dienst playing up at the top there. They're going to be looking for those two, especially on those drives. Here's George Candle driving in, finding a spot, but it is given up. Sticks are on the field. The Chapman Panthers are moving up the field yet again. Not a ton of momentum, but here's Cam, that long stick defenseman. We know he's big.
That CU Buff defense again, getting that off there, really just not letting them get any shots off there, cutting off those angles. They got that quick check right as he caught the ball to get that ball right out of his stick.
Yeah, very solid defense, playing it close to home, and it's really working out for them. Now 9 minutes and 20 seconds, 60 seconds on the shot clock. Up to number 9, driving in for the Buffs, and a huge shot for them. Colin Green found a way to slide that one in there. I was looking for his name, and somehow the ball ended up in the back of the net. Just a great shot from Colin Green there.
Absolutely. It's an interesting technique that CU Buffs have been doing so far in this half. And let's take a look at what I'm talking about here. All right, able to get that quick shot off there. But before leading up to that, we had lots of passes up top. They're not really taking it down to X a lot. You know, they may have noticed last time that we have really good defense on X for many different reasons, but they're keeping it up top, getting it between George Candle and the player who just made the goal right there. They're keeping it pretty up top, though, not really going to X that much.
And that's going to be a personal foul on number 40, the faceoff specialist, who went up against number 21, William Curtis, with 2 S's. Looks like they're moving the ball a little bit more. Jack Berger behind the net, looking for Fran Bonadis. Bringing in those new players. That's number 17, Jackson Wells. This is that shift, that big boy shift. And it looks like there's some stoppage. And I'm not quite sure why. It seems like the refs are having another chit-chat.
What do you think the topic is this time, Dan?
Maybe their favorite color. I think that might be a good discussion.
Yes.
But if
How
I was
was
to
their
make
spring break,
oh,
maybe?
yeah,
Do you think they had a spring break?
But if anything, it probably was another problem with the shot clock. Let's listen in.
To 8:36.
Right now. And my prediction was correct again.
It was.
Was not a problem with the shot clock, but the actual clock. Now set at 8 minutes, 36 seconds in this third quarter. 54 seconds on the shot clock, all tied up, 6-6. Chapman with the ball in their attacking half. The big boy shift. Ready. A huge stop from the CU Buff goalie. Jack Berger, another shot on goal. Great game for him tonight.
Chapman really trying to cut off these transitions here. They're riding really hard, but just able to get past.
Looks like they're changing that shift a little bit, and that ball is just a tad too high. That pass was intended for Dylan Sandman, number 5. Just a tad too high for Dylan Sandman. As the Panthers bring the ball up yet again. Almost pushed out of bounds there, but it looks like they still retain possession. Defenders getting some shift changes in. Playing to X. The Panthers looking for an opportunity here. The game is still tied, 6-6. 7.5 minutes to play. Moving the ball extremely well, not dropping these easy passes. Big check there from the CU Buffs. wrapping around a little bit, no call, and there is the flag. The Panthers are going to play this out until the ball goes out of bounds. They've got some more time on the shot clock. They know they're going man up soon. Big pick there from number 15. Fran Bonadies almost had a great shot. Great save from the CU Buffs goalie. But we shall now see if it is man up. Let's see. So as you could possibly hear, the ref calling for the CU Buffs, number 24, Jack Rogers, holding 30 seconds man up. Here we go. 7 minutes, 30 seconds of man up for the Panthers. They really want to capitalize here.
Yeah, so far in this quarter, CU Buffs have had a very strong defense, so this man up is going to be definitely an advantage for Chapman. I'm sure they're going to try their absolute hardest in this situation to get this goal off.
And it looks like they're playing it quite slow for a man-up situation, and that missed pass may spell the end for them. Looks like they will not maintain possession. That's going to be Colorado Buffs' ball, and that man-up situation is going down the drain. Bringing it up to midfield. Number 29 for the Buffs, setting up that Buffs offense. Number 9, Colin Green. Had a goal this half already. Let's see if he can continue that streak. There's George Candle. Got the ball now about the 4:35. George Candle slowing it down a bit. Trying to find an opening. As you can hear from the crowd, you can hear that he's going right. In that case, he actually did not go right. And it looks like the Panthers are going to get possession there. As you can hear the crowd, especially loving that one. A close call. George Candle with a huge check to the back. That stick came right around. Bringing in that fast shift again. Let's see if they can use their speed here. Fran Bonadies, just a constant out there. As a captain, he serves on almost every shift. What does that mean for the team?
Well, I mean, right now, Fran Bonadies, yeah, obviously is one of the strongest players we've seen this entire game. Right now, it looks that he's not so much playing at X this half as we saw last time, but kind of staying in front, able to get those passes off, giving the opportunity to his other players to get those shots and get those assists to goal. But that was an amazing fast transition we just saw down to attack right now. And ball down. Before I say my next thing. All right, I was going to say stick skills from Chapman have been looking a lot better this half. Whatever the coach said to them during that halftime break was definitely went straight to their hearts. They are really bringing it this half.
Another great stop for the CU Buffs goalie. And, you know, it doesn't get much better than that. That's going to be, I believe, Trevor Clark. Looks like a fast break opportunity here. A great pass to Fran Bonadies. He's tight, but a great stick check from the CU Buff defense. Intercepted by number 5. It's going to be Leander Rikers. He's bringing the ball up, dropping that shoulder, dropping him. And a lot of whistles on that play. He put his hand down and he said, "He's too little. Don't put that man on me." Unfortunately, the ball comes loose. There is some whistles on the play. But Leander Rikers asserting some dominance there. Number 44, moving it up to midfield. Into the attacking half, Colorado goes. Number 11 for the Buffs, slowly bringing the ball up. Adam Baki playing around X.
You know, when they play around like that, it usually means there's some kind of play, some kind of move happening. We got a new player just coming in, so he might bring something that we haven't seen to attack yet.
Cam trying to get in there. That long stick really helping out there. Almost got beat, but that long stick keeping him in the play. Continuing to move the ball. Finding an opening off the post. As we see again, that ball has got some gas, and there's a flag on the play.
2 flags on that play, actually. I think it's going to be down on 11. Looks like already coming off.
Let's see what's going on here. The refs having this conversation. Who's the flag on? Who's going man up here? Obviously, here we go. Let's see what ref has to say.
Table, white number 2, unnecessary roughness, 1 minute. White 2, unnecessary.
So if you can hear that, it's going to be unnecessary roughness for Chapman's number 2, Ethan Slade, the junior midfielder. Obviously, unfortunate for them. That's going to be a minute of man down for the Panthers. Just about 2.5 minutes in the third quarter. 80 seconds on the shot clock.
Now that we're back to this man-down defense for Chapman, let's see if there were any changes maybe made over halftime. See if they can get that shot off George Candle.
Candle, yet another opening, begging for that pass, and that one just goes just wide. The Buffs, another one just wide. That's going to be Colin Green. Already has a goal this quarter. Not too sure if he had one first half. Back to Colin Green. George Candle cradling that ball, moving it around. A shot from George Candle. A great save by number 3. And if you notice, the goal is really reaching out, flying out there, because he can potentially get possession for the Panthers if he's the first one in that chase.
Absolutely. That chase ball can mean the world when you have a situation like this where you have a strong attack. Getting that change of possession and able to get that quickly down the field can mean the most.
And they survived that man down very, very well. And here comes Cam. Cam bringing it down to midfield. That big long stick defender. Camden Morris, a bad pass there. It's going to leave you, unfortunately, in a bad position.
He did a great job of holding on to that ball, but yeah, when it's that short distance passing with that long stick is a refined skill. And that's a hard one to get off, and he wasn't able to get that clean pass to him.
Here we go, continuing to move the ball a little bit more. Number 14, driving in, trying to beat his man. Oh, and that is close. Almost a great behind the back shot off of a ground ball. But missed opportunity there, back to George Candle.
Yeah, great thought, great instincts by number 7 on the CU Buffs right there. If he could have gotten that off, that would have been a definite highlight play right there.
Again, off the post for the Buffs. That is the third one tonight. We've been talking about how important it is to make sure that you are on target, and unfortunately, those are just wide.
Yeah, before the game started, we talked about how important placing shots would be in this game, and I said because of the goalies, but as it seems to be, it just is a game about getting it into the goal here.
And a great save from the CU Buffs goalie. Again, Trevor Clark, his 4th save of the quarter. 30 seconds left. This may be our last possession of the third quarter. The Buffs moving the ball up to the 50-yard line. 18 seconds left. Looks like they're slowing it down, trying to make sure that this is going to be the last shot of this quarter. You can hear the crowd saying, shoot, shoot.
Oh, and George Candle fully checked, stick out of his hand. Looks like Chapman got the possession on that one.
And that ball is going to be loose. That is going to be the end of the third quarter. Another great quarter of play. But now we're back to 6-6. It's still an even game. it's going to be a very close game as we get into this fourth quarter. Obviously, teams coming out swinging. Both had opportunities, but let's talk about that CU Buffs goalie, Trevor Clark. 4 saves this quarter. How important is that for Colorado?
That is so important. I mean, yeah, the 4 saves, that's the whole point right there. That would have been 4 more goals that they would have had on Chapman, but Trevor Clark is really pulling through, as well as the entire CU Buff defense. I mean, the first half, I didn't really see anything that I thought I needed to highlight on the CU Buff defense, but just coming out this first quarter of the second half, already it's proven to be a stronger defense.
Yeah, but now we're going to go back down to Josh Fernandez, who's got a little inside scoop about that ref drama we've been hearing a lot about.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm here hearing the refs talk out here. It seems like there's a little bit of an issue going on with the shot clock. A lot of times, sometimes it can be really confusing. The refs just trying to make sure that these stay really balanced for both teams and it's really fair. But also, right now, Chapman doing the work defensively. What I'm hearing a lot from the coaches is the word turnover. On offense, a lot of times, Chapman has a really good look, and then they make a bad pass, and it goes back. But right now, we're going to go back up there, back to Dan. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and a great third quarter. Obviously, it's good to hear that, they're not talking about their favorite colors, but the shot clock. But let's look at some highlights from that third quarter. Let's see if Trevor Clark made an appearance. Obviously, we see here Colin Green finding that spot. I was looking for his name on my computer. He slipped into the net somehow. Just a great shot from him there.
Yeah, that was great speed and a great angle he was able to get off of that one. Now we have number 5 on Chapman coming down. And that was when we saw the flag on the play there, a little charge with the helmet. He dropped down his shoulder on that one.
And that was the biggest moment of the night. We have seen George Kandel be so dominant, and to see that Chapman defense take the entire stick out of his hand, it's great to see. Obviously, we saw number 5, Leander Riker, saying, he's too small. Don't put him on me. Let's see if he continues to feel that way.
I know we're going into the last quarter, 6-6. I mean, it's a nail biter. I'm excited to see. It's all going to come down to possession and these fundamental stick skills.
And again, just for our viewers at home, Chapman will now be attacking towards the right of your screen. The Buffs attacking towards the left. Here we go. 15 minutes left to play. 6-6. In these guys' heads, it's a 0-0 game. 15 minutes left. It is all on the line. Both of these teams are fighting for playoff positions. They know this game is huge. Colin Green bringing the ball up. George Kandel coming back on. George Kandel driving in, finding an opportunity. That ball is checked and up high.
Another missed shot by George Kandel. I wasn't keeping track, but that has been quite a few, specifically by George Kandel. I mean, clearly he's gotten a large amount of their goals for this game, but those missed shots are such a missed opportunity for this one.
And a great save from the Chapman goalie, Jason Bollinger, sophomore. And here he comes again. Number 9, that long stick defenseman, Camden Morris. Playing around X. Here we go. Jack Worth trying to work that ball, setting up the offense. Elijah Brugerman to his right. That ball to Jackson Wells. Jackson Wells driving in. Finds an opening, rips it just to the right.
Jackson Wells.
Going to continue to be Chapman possession.
A really important spot on the field that Chapman really seems to be trying to get every single one of their shots off is that 5x5 that I was talking about earlier. It's 5 yards up from the extended goal line and 5 yards out from the base of the goal and from the crease. And it's really just, that's like the best angle, best possible shot off, and they're really trying to milk that shot every single time they get a player right at that money spot. They are taking that shot, and that's an easy shot to get off, so we should be seeing, if they can keep getting there, some good goals from there.
10 seconds left on the shot clock. Chapman has to force something here. A shot from Fran Bonadis, just high, Great opportunity, obviously, just a tad high to the left. 3 seconds left.
Shot clock expiration.
And Chapman's going to drop it off. Here we go again. Let's see how Chapman attacks this ball at midfield like they have been doing. Here comes that double. A huge check slowing him down. Chapman possession. They have been controlling that midfield. Those midfielders are really taking it in their own hands.
You're so right, Dan. They've been having some great rides back to attack. And this one just adding that little bit of pressure, they were able to get that possession turnover.
Jack Worth spearheading this offense, that face-off specialist. Let's see where he can take it from here. Jackson Wells returning back to the play. Same move. Fran Bonadies, excuse me. Ben Nustreisen working his way in. Back to Ben, to Jack Worth. Finds an opening, shoots it, and I believe that may have gone in, and they are not saying it did.
Ooh, that's a hard one to call. Right off the top pole of the goal. That is hard to call whether it went bounced in and bounced right out, but it seems that we're continuing play. Not going to be counted as a goal there.
I was ready to call it a Bardowski.
He was raising out of his seat. He was ready to call that one.
And I think we need the VAR from my friends who play football and soccer. VAR it. Bring me that goal line. But the Colorado Buffs are now on offense. Just over 11 minutes to go. 6-6. Defensive powerhouses right now. Nothing is getting in. They are locked in. We heard it in the package. These players tend to just black out. The only thing they're focused on is what is at hand, and we saw that right there. The defense executed to perfection.
Yeah, both of the teams' defense have been really, really strong this half. Just right on their players, not letting them get that angle, get that shot off of at least their dominant hand. We've heard some actually yelling from the crowd there. He's right-handed, he's right-handed. So the defense knows to push him to his left, force him to use his non-dominant, and he's way less likely to get that dangerous shot off.
And that's important. Making sure that they are not letting those opportunities arise is going to be crucial here. They're working the ball. Now back out there, Elijah Brueggerman. To his right, Jackson Waters. Moving the ball at X.
Ooh, we got 25.
Oh, a great save from the goalie there. That shot by Elijah Waters.
That was a great look from back at X. We had a wide open player, number 25, came in solely for that play, but just slightly off with that shot, couldn't get it in.
And as we continue to say in the last quarter recap, Trevor Clark just adding to his saves tonight. Must be his 5th or 6th. Working his way in. That's number 17, Jackson Wells. Jack Bruger behind the net at X. Holding what it looks like to me, and there's the late whistle. Holding, they're telling them to reset the shot clock. I've picked that one up. We've heard about it a lot tonight, but it sounds like if you put your finger up in the air and start spinning it.
Universal sign.
That's the universal sign to reset the shot clock.
Ball's in the air. Ball's in the air.
Chapman coaches are asking, why no flag? Why no man up? The ball was in the air. Here we go, setting up again. Jack Berger. Jackson Wells setting the pick. Jack Berger working around the crease. That one just a tad wide.
Didn't have that angle off. He's coming around that crease. If he was able to get that angle off, that would have been a really dangerous shot, but he just wasn't able to turn his body and get that shoulder around enough as he needed to. It just went right past.
And here we go, Jackson Wells. We've seen him in these one-on-one situations. Rips a shot, but it's right into the net of Trevor Clark. He is dialed in tonight. 9 minutes left, still 6-6. The Buffs bringing it quick. Buries a shot. Number 24 for the Colorado Buffs, Jack Rogers.
We are finally seeing that game of speed that we were talking about. We saw it from Chapman a little bit in the first half, but now we're seeing it from the Buffs, and this is what I was talking about. They can turn that on. They are known for their comebacks this season. They have those strong players. They're able to be powerful, flip that switch to be that fast and that effective team, and that's what we just saw in that play.
And here comes that replay. We're going to take a quick look at this fast-paced offense. Look at them go. Top right corner. Obviously, the goalie just a tad behind. Here's the face-off. Chapman is winning the face-off, and it's a battle for possession. Really getting nitty-gritty there, and it looks like they will come up with possession.
I will say face-offs have been, this last quarter, we've seen quite a bit of fight for that face-off. Definitely in the other 3 quarters, it was pretty much primarily just a pickup from Chapman, but we've seen Boulder push back and get their sticks in there and almost get that possession off.
And now, as I like to call it, we've got the speed shift coming in. They're dropping it down. Josh Vermund, Ben Nustreisen, trying to find options. Grant Cavan. Those 3 guys are some different ones that we don't usually see. They're not Jack Berger, they're not Fran Bonadies, and they bring that extra speed. Let's see if they can really capitalize on it. Fran Bonadies, almost an opportunity there. Number 33 with an option maybe. Rips it through the legs. A great shot for the Panthers, Josh Vermund.
Just made that through 3 defenders in his way. That is an impressive shot. And of course, as we've seen, the goalie, the CU-Boulder goalie, has been on tonight. And we're gonna check that out through the replay.
And we see Fran Bonadies working his man, looking for that open guy, finds Josh Vermund, spin move, right through the legs, found his position, and that's just great. As I said, they've got the speed in that shift. He beat his man on that one-on-one situation, and there it is. A goal evens it out. It's 7-7, but in all these players' minds, it's 0-0 with 7 minutes and 48 seconds remaining. Chapman Panthers with possession. As you can see, the Buffs are playing way more aggressive at the midfield line. They are trying to get that possession fast. Jack Berger has possession, handing it off to Jack Worth. Camden Morris coming off. 26 and 17 coming on. That's going to be Elijah Brueggemann and Jackson Wells. Jackson Wells beating his man on the one-on-one. Jack Worth with a dropped pass. Running it back to X. Jack Berger. Fake shot there from number 26. And a big shot from number 26 on his second try, Elijah Brueggemann. Burying it in the back of the net. What a shot.
Nice high shot on that one too. Last one we saw that perfect low in between the leg shot on the CU goaltender, but this time that high shot just got it off. Let's check that out again.
Look at Elijah Brueggemann breaking that check. Almost gets checked right there. He's pointed down the ground. He's saying, this is my turf. I'm taking this game. And that is what he's doing right now. He's giving the first lead of this second half. And this is big. We talked about that mentality. This is a huge boost to morale. We got to keep this mentality up, though. As we go into this next face-off, Chapman, yet again, winning the face-off and the possession. And I'll say it as many times as I can. This speed kills. They've got momentum. Just a tad wide there.
I think this quarter we really have seen what the Chapman coach was talking about at halftime, that trust between the players. There's been lots of passes, lots of setups to get that goal off. We're seeing less drives to goal, more of that like getting pass off to the player that has the best angle. They're acknowledging that with each other and making sure that
Jackson Wells almost buries that through the legs. Another very close call for Trevor Clark. Add that to his long list of saves for tonight.
Definitely a highlight player tonight.
Eli can go with someone. You're on 24.
Now the Buffs are slowing it down a bit. They want to make sure they're getting the best shot here. They want to even this game out. They've only got about 6 minutes left, and they are down 1. Forcing the man down situation could be key.
George Candle just coming in as well. We know to look out for him.
George Candle.
Right foot!
Colin Green finding an opening in the middle. Nothing there. Tripping him up a little bit, those big stick checks. And a great save for Jason Bollinger. They're keeping this up. More shift changes coming in. Chapman, they're feeling that momentum now. They're feeling the pressure. They want to lock this game up here. Jack Berger playing X. Fran Bonides on that far side. They've got my favorite shift in. They've got that speed shift. Ben Nustreisen, Josh Ramund. We know he's dangerous in that one-on-one. Jack Berger playing around that X, trying to find the open man. Back to Fran Bonides. Back to Jack. Nothing there. Passing it out. Here's Josh. Nothing there. Really running this shot clock down, using it all this time.
They're definitely trying to keep possession of that ball for as long as possible. If they're taking that shot, it's going to be the smartest shot possible. They don't want to lose possession right now.
Ben Nustreisen fighting for it, and just over the net. And because he shot it and went into the crease, I believe that is possession for the Buffs.
You're exactly right, Dan. Yep, we got a possession turnover right there, and I can't imagine that Chapman is happy about that right now.
About 4 minutes and 15 seconds left in this game. Chapman up 1. It has been a very exciting quarter. Trying to make sure that this game comes down to the wire. The Buffs obviously wanting to even this up. The Panthers wanting to elongate their lead. The Buffs really need to pick up the pace here. Using all this shot clock time is bringing down their chances. As you know, Chapman's going to play it slow. Fighting his way in. 11 for the Buffs. A huge save for Jason Bollinger. And now they are a man down. They've got some momentum here. The CU Buffs looking for something, but he's back in it. Number 10, Dylan Hartnov. A huge save for Jason again. And that long stick defense coming in clutch there for number 5, Leander Rikers. That is a huge moment. And look at them go.
Now with close to 3 minutes left, Chapman's definitely going to run out this clock for as much as they can. They want to keep possession on their half of the field. They do not want to let the Buffs get that possession off. It looks like we're out of the man down situation.
Jackson Wells looking over to the sideline, seeing what the coach is asking him to do. Trying to find what's the best way to play this. He's got Grant Cavan open a whiles back away though. Fran Bonides continuing to play that X position. He has been all around the turf tonight. Back up to Jack Berger. Now with number 26, Elijah Brueggemann. Back to Jack Worth. Jack Worth to Wells. Wells running the crease. Lots of checks coming through. Wells backing off. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Jack Worth is tripped up. And now Fran Bonides with a shot opportunity. Nothing there. It's going to be a shot clock expiration. Change of possession. Just under 2 minutes. We have seen how aggressive this midfield can be. Let's see if they continue to play it like that. A huge check, forcing that ground ball. They are continuing to chip away at the time here. And that sounds like it's going to be a timeout for the Colorado Buffs, as they're going to take some time to really think about this next play. 58 seconds on the shot clock, a minute and a half to go. Caroline, this has been one of the best defensive showings we've seen all game.
Absolutely.
So how can Chapman continue that streak, and how can they continue to make sure there's no goal scored here for the Colorado Buffs?
For Chapman defense, yeah, keep doing what they've been doing, really staying on their mans, keep it helping out, being able to help out there when there's that drive to goal, really just keeping tight on your player. What we've seen from the Buffs this quarter with attack hasn't been nothing really to comment on there. Mostly playing up top, not really taking it to X too much. So Chapman has been able to keep them away from that good angle and just really staying with their man. And they've been doing a great job just helping each other out, keeping that communication on defense up, and I think that's been their strongest suit.
Yeah, and that's going to be crucial for them to make sure they maintain that solid defense they've been playing all quarter. And we're going to see what kind of play they're going to draw up here. Obviously, you see that there's going to be different huddles going on. You've got a huddle for the middies and the attackers, got a huddle for the defense. These coaches, obviously they're fighting for it here, and we've been talking about this all game. It's a tight game. It's an important game for both of these teams, and they have to hope that they can continue to work as a team, not play that hero ball that they've been talking about a lot when we had that interview with Josh. And we're going to see a minute and a 30 to go. Perfect on the dot. 58 seconds on the shot clock. Number 30 for the Colorado Buffs bringing it up. That's Beaker Dinst. Got Colin Green, George Candle, Dylan Sandman, and Luke Verratti out there for the Buffs. Let's see where they go. George Candle. And a missed pass, had a shot opportunity, and there is Camden Morris. I'm sorry, not Camden Morris, Leander Rikers. That long stick defenseman who likes to get into the attack. And it looks like
we had an offsides call right there. When you have defense taking it down, you've got to make sure there's that communication. A midi has to pull back. You have to have those 4 players behind the restraining line, and that just got overlooked, and now we have a possession turnover.
Here's Colin Green. Colin Green fighting for it. Back to number 30 for the Buffs. Nothing quite landing there. Another timeout for the Buffs. Wow. An exciting 45 seconds there. Both on both offensive halves. Obviously great defense from the Chapman Panthers, but an offsides. That really does change the tide of this game. Obviously, if Chapman keeps possession there, they've got to hold the ball for a minute more. If they keep up that great work, very attainable. But now they give the Buffs another opportunity.
Absolutely, and the Buffs, I'm anxious to see these last 45 seconds. They got 63. They got plenty of time on the shot clock. They're not going to run out there. So, I'm excited to see if they can get one off on this 45 seconds. It's really going to come down to Jason Bullinger, our goalie, as well. If they get that shot off, he can continue to have those amazing saves and goals that we've seen this quarter specifically. If he's able to, they might just take home the win. Chapman could hold it.
Yeah, and it's going to be a very fast 45 seconds, I'm sure, for both of these teams. Biggest thing we've talked about tonight is that mentality. Who is keeping that strong mentality, not letting those small things get to them? I sure hope that Leander Rikers is not regretting that attack up to the offense. He's got to be a defenseman now, using that long stick to keep it away. Here we go. You can hear the crowd getting loud. This is going to be electric. Troy Kennedy, the other long stick defenseman. Here we go. Playing into X. The Buffs moving the ball. The Buffs running around the crease. Some great defense there. An opportunity and a great save from Jason Bullinger off the post. And here comes Camden Morris.
And that's going to be our game pretty much. If he can hold this for the past 18 seconds,
Looks like there is already cheering. The team is excited. They're ready to go. I believe there is a timeout on the side of Chapman. As you can hear, the team is excited. I mean, a great defensive stop there. And Camden Morris bringing the ball up. Just a great play for them.
Yeah, and this is a huge deal. I mean, for Chapman, this could mean qualifying for playoffs, and especially against CU-Boulder. Last time the RMLC, which is, of course, the Rocky Mountain League, was in full swing, was in 2019, and Boulder has the title for that one, is defending their title for that. Of course, we're not in the Rocky Mountain League, but they are title holders, and so beating Boulder on this one is very important, especially for qualifying for finals in our league playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be crucial for them. They're obviously got a big huddle right now. They are making sure that they're going to maintain possession of the ball. 16.6 seconds left. Chapman leading by 1. This could very well be the last possession of the game. I think the Buffs are going to come out here very aggressive, checking, making sure that, hoping that the Panthers are going to make a mistake here.
Yeah, definitely going to see some aggressive defense from the Buffs right now. I mean, with 16 seconds, there's not much to lose. Even fouls being taken out of the game, it's not going to make that much of a difference. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen in these last few seconds of the game.
And here we go. The Panthers are setting up. Already a dropped pass. The ground ball scooped up by the Buffs. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Bringing the ball up. Number 7, marking their man, opening it up, and it's buried for the Buffs. The Buffs put the ball into the back of the net, evening this game up off a dropped pass.
That is an absolute shock. So baffling on the part of Chapman. I don't understand what was the thought behind not just keeping possession in the defender's stick, but instead getting that pass across field when we know we've seen this game that it has not been the strongest suit of Chapman to get those clean passes. We're going to look at a replay of just exactly what happened on that last one.
Just finally found his spot, bottom right corner. It's just terrible how that turned out. And that is going to be the end of regulation. And I believe that will be counted as a draw. I am not completely sure if this will go into OT. I guess we'll see by the reactions what these teams are going to do, if they're going to shake hands or if they're going to get in huddles.
In other leagues, they will go into sudden death overtime, but since we're just a club, our league may just call it a draw. I guess we're going to have to wait to hear exactly what the refs decide.
I mean, let's really talk about it. It seems like they're sending out a captain there, maybe for a coin toss.
Looks like, yep, see, look, Buffs are ready to go back out. They quickly came in. I'm sure they're just absolutely fuming over that one. That was amazing. Amazing quick response on the part of the Buffs, and they're ready to play this overtime. Yeah, it looks like we're going back out. Here we go. You ready, Dan?
Another callback. It's all about that mentality, making sure that they keep that tough mentality, not letting that moment get to them. We talked about that goldfish, not letting it eat them up, just making sure it was a stupid mistake. Let's not let it happen again. Let's move on. Obviously, don't know how Coach drew that one up. Maybe that's how he drew it up and thought it was going to work. But here we go. I believe this is golden goal. Sudden death. Next goal wins.
Now, I know you guys can't see here in the control booth, but I was punching Dan's arm going, what was that play? What was that play? Why would we do that pass? Cross field to a player coming in and not just hold on to it for the 15 seconds. 15 seconds.
Here we go on the face-off. Chapman wins it but does not take possession. The Buffs with a terrible pass, giving the Panthers possession.
They better clean this up already. Already in this overtime, we've seen 2 mistakes, one from both sides. They better clean up their technique. This is a sudden death. The stakes are the highest they could possibly be right now.
And that, it plays a major factor. That nerves, it's a very high stakes situation. They're trying to figure it out. They're trying to get back into their groove again, but it is tough.
Absolutely, it's all about that mental state. You've got to be in control. Remember the fundamentals.
Jackson Wells with a pass that's just a tad too slow to Jack Berger. Up to Jack Worth. Trying to find something. Number 26 bringing it down. Jack Berger playing X. This is heart-wrenching. Elijah Brueggemann out there with Ben Nustreisen. Ben Nustreisen to Elijah. Elijah getting close. Out to Fran Bonadies. Now with Jack Berger running into X, a pick set by
15
Fran.
seconds left on the shot clock.
A huge shot! A huge shot that is going to be the end of the game.
They took their time. They knew what they were doing. They kept those fundamentals intact. Right there we saw the good passes. Didn't see it earlier when we had 15 seconds left, but we saw it right there. They were able to get it around goal and get the best shot off possible. Wow, wow, what a great ending to what seemed like a never-ending and tumultuous game there.
Number 0, Jack Berger seals the deal for the Chapman Panthers. 9-8. What a great play. Jack Berger just coming around the edge, rips it. It's just like they drew it up. Comes around X, cradles that ball, brings it up, puts it into the back of the net. Obviously, just a great, great play just to end the half. Just perfect.
Yeah, exactly right. A lot of the first half, we saw a lot of those plays down from X. Didn't see too much of it the second half, but it brought home the game for us. So clearly a useful strategy there.
And that is going to be the end of our overtime, not regulation this time around. That golden goal is going to seal the deal for the Chapman Panthers. Obviously, we talked about a couple keys to the game a little bit as this game went on. Were those true throughout the game? We talked about, making sure our stick skills were still there. But I don't think we talked about enough, what the goalies did tonight. How important was that for them tonight?
Absolutely. Well, when you're looking at Trevor Clark, the goalie for the CU-Boulder team, he was on fire tonight. I mean, overall losing the game, but he had the most amazing saves. Also, Jason Bullinger on the side of Chapman, they really brought it home. When their defenses failed a little bit, when they were able to get that shot off and they were just there, a brick wall, not letting anything pass them, they definitely deserve some acclaim tonight.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the goalies are really the true heroes tonight, both with multiple saves above 5, and I'm sure that they are happy with their performance as well. Obviously, a great game tonight. If you would like to continue to support the Chapman men's lacrosse team, again, you can scan the QR code that is now on your screen and donate any amount that you would so choose. Obviously, it helps support them. They are a self-funded club, and your donations help them to continue to grow and make sure that they get to continue to play lacrosse in all the shapes and ways and forms that they can through MCLA. Obviously, they had a great showing tonight, and donations will be matched tonight after such a great showing. Obviously, the Chapman lacrosse team playing great, and just a great feeling. And obviously, how do you feel? I mean, just a roller coaster of emotions. Just a great game tonight.
It really was. I think a big component that really kicked the game up to a higher level was the defensive showings from both teams. And just to highlight that a little bit more, especially in the second half, but to highlight that a little bit more, we're going to toss it down to Josh Fernandez on the field. Josh?
All right, Camden, what a great win for you today. What do you think contributed to the win the most today?
What was that?
What do you think contributed the most today for your win?
We were down a couple players. They were hurt, and I think what helped the most was we just learned how to play as a team today, and I'd say it was just like today was like more of a team game, and then obviously when they tied it with like 2 seconds left, coming into the huddle, talking, and then going out and executing on exactly what we're talking about.
All right, I appreciate that, Camden. Congratulations on your victory. Hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Obviously great to talk about one of my favorite players tonight, the long stick defenseman, Camden Morris. Like he said, that defender's too little. Don't put him on me. And just a great game for Camden Morris tonight. And let's see if there's a couple Camden Morris highlights in our highlight reel for our second half highlights, shall we? Obviously, we're going to look at the screen here, and there is number 22, Elijah Brugerman. That ball just a tad bit over the net. That's when I said, let's get some VAR. Let's check if that ball went in.
That was the run right off the top pole. And here,
Jack Berger cradling the ball, trying to get that pass in, and that one just a tad too high. Open net as well.
we saw that a lot this game, just the slightly off shots that if those were just tweaked a tiny bit would have made it a bigger margin in a game. Right there, we had a great shot off from the CU-Boulder attack.
And this ball right here, number 33, a spin move, breaks his defender right through the legs. Just a great shot for him. I mean, Chapman and CU-Boulder just performed out of their minds today. And this shot right here sealed the deal. About 5 seconds left on the clock, and they bury it, send it into overtime. And here, what can you say more about this? A game-winning shot from Jack. And here it is, just buries it right past him. And that was the end of the game tonight. What a shot, what a goal. Just a great game overall. Any final words or things you'd like to say about tonight's broadcast and tonight's game?
I mean, I think all that I can express was how excited the guys were down on the sideline. We heard them screaming. We heard them yelling. It's a great feeling, especially in that overtime, to get that shot off. It's making their record 5-4 now. I'm really excited to see what they come up with next.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us for tonight's broadcast of Chapman Men's Lacrosse, coming up with the win after beating the CU-Boulder Buffs 9-8. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.